Hey, and happy new year. It is your girl Beatrice, the therapist next door. I am tuning in because I want to first say happy new year. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for tuning in. I'm seeing your comments. I'm seeing your feedback. I'm loving it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of my new anybody that's new to my page. I'm so glad that you found your place here. If you found this video, this message, this experience, this wisdom is for you, honey. Today, I am talking about letting go, the art of letting go. And I don't know about you, but the last few years for me, life has really been lifing, and it has challenged and stretched me in ways that I have never imagined. And honey, I done lost both of my parents, and I've been through a divorce. And these past 2 years feel like it has been soul level work, which is good because I'm transforming, I'm evolving into the person that I'm meant to be. But it's been really tough. It's been really tough. And so, if you've been in a hard space in life where you feel like things have been so difficult that you find yourself wanting to try to control the outcome, you find yourself wanting to prove yourself, or you're finding yourself questioning your value or your worth, or just completely being burned out and shutting down because you've given life and your goals all that you have right now, like you're tapped out, this message is for you. So I want to give y'all some context. I know that I am new to the YouTube world, and so you don't know a whole lot of my story. So I'm going to share a snippet of my story with you, and as we grow together, you'll learn more of my story. But this part of my story, y'all, I don't, I started a group practice several years ago, and I was in a group practice, running the group practice for about 4 years, and I absolutely loved it. I had four clinicians working for me. Two of them were full-time therapists. Y'all, I was living my best life. Okay, this is right after my divorce. I decided to move to Chicago, and when I moved to Chicago, Chicago was a bucket list place for me. After my divorce, I was living in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I asked myself, I was like, where do I want to go next? And I knew that home, which is Houston, was not the place for me to come. It wasn't time for me to come home yet. I knew that very clear. Long story short, I do believe that God confirmed for me to go to Chicago. In many ways, that's a whole different story, different video, different day. Okay. But God confirmed for me, yes, go to Chicago. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to clear the path. And honey, that he did. I got the apartment of my dreams. I was downtown in the South Loop area, and I loved it. I had an amazing community in my building. I met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. For my birthday that year, I country hopped in between Europe and Africa. I went to Morocco, Greece, Egypt, and Israel. Had a wonderful time. Oh, I was in the Middle East as well. Had an absolutely wonderful time. The vibes were there. And I would never forget, I was in Morocco and I was sitting down on my bed, like winding down from the day, checking my email, checking in with my therapist, seeing how things were going. And when I connected to the internet, my phone just started dinging with emails giving me notifications, letting me know that claims had been paid, that deposits were made. And I just had to step back, and I was like, oh my God, it's me. It's me. Like, this is my life. And it was my life. Even when I wasn't country hopping, if I was just at the house, like, I worked the least amount that I'd ever worked in my life, after my divorce. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I had built a beautiful and thriving group practice. And I was so thankful for that. And I would be able to just sit in my apartment, look out, watch the snowfall, sip on some coffee, honey, go down and give me something to eat. I still had clients that I saw, but I reduced my caseload significantly because I was also burned out from working through the first year of the pandemic, burned out from being divorced right before the pandemic happened. I mean, honey, I was tapped out. I need that group practice probably saved my life, honestly, because I needed the space and the break. I absolutely needed it. And then things began to change. So my two full-time therapists that were working with me, they already had their own small group practice on the side. And after their contract had ended, I think maybe they did 2 years with me. After their contract had ended, their second round of the contract ended, they ended up deciding to go and do their own practice full time. Which, if you're not in the world of therapy, well, even if you are, but if you're not somebody that knows or is in the world of like owning a business as a therapist, you probably don't know this. But oftentimes when therapists work for group practices, they work for those group practices um, until they get their confidence up, till they feel like they got enough clients, and then they decide to go full time in their own thing, which, whatever, we're in an era where everybody wants to be a chief. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to lead, everybody wants to have their own business, and that's fair because that was me too. That's still me. But damn, like when therapists leave a group practice, y'all, the clients are not committed to the practice, they're committed to that therapist. And therapists know this. So when they leave and go to their practice, they know them clients are coming with them. Those clients go with them. And so not only did I lose really good, strong, amazing therapists, but I also lost the money that came with their caseload. And I lost the clients too. And it was just devastating. And I spent money on coaching, with other therapists that have been very successful in the space to try to rebound and make sure that I was able to adjust and figure out how can I fix this. And even after all of my efforts, it wasn't enough. I was totally burned out. I did not have enough energy. And I decided to go back to a solo practice after working with that coach. And after I just made that decision, I started praying, and I was like, God, I really would love to be able to buy into a business that can be like passive income for me. I know the first year or two or three, whatever, might require me to really be hands on, but I want something preferably that can be passive income that I can easily be able to get up and going. And I honestly wanted to continue to run a practice, but I wanted a group practice. So a franchise would have been a perfect opportunity, right? Prayed about this, ended up meeting this guy, going on this date, was not feeling him like that, not romantically, but we began to talk about business, and he asked me what did I want to do, what was I into, what was my goals for my business, and I shared honestly with him about where I was, some of the pitfalls that I was running into. He owns several businesses in the health and wellness space, and he was like, I got you, I can help you. He said, I know somebody that sells the kind of business that you're in, and I think it's relatively accessible. I want to connect you with her. She can mentor you and help you vet out the opportunity of buying this franchise. I'm not gonna say the name of the franchise, but I vetted it $3,000 later, okay, in attorney's fees, because when you're buying a franchise, you absolutely want to have an attorney look over it, and it's not cheap. Um, the attorney was like, this don't look like a good deal. This business is charging too much, and they're a startup. It's not, they don't have enough time to have proven that they can generate the type of income that they're saying they can get you, yada yada yada. Long story short, it fell through. Even after me trying to negotiate with the owner a more fair and reasonable agreement, he still was not willing to budge. The door closed. And that was another blow to my confidence, because I was like, dang, I prayed for this. It came, and then it slipped through my fingers. Like, I could not make sense of how things happen with my group practice, how things happen with this franchise opportunity. And I'm like, okay, God, what is it here that you're wanting to do? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? Because remember, it wasn't that long ago that I went through a divorce, that, I found myself in this spiritual crisis and awakening all at the same time. It was a lot. And then I relocated back home. I decided to buy a home. And that process, was very stressful. Like most people say, buying a house can be stressful. It can be, because, your emotions are attached to the process, and you want what you want, and money is involved. Money is always a sticky thing, and so things just kept piling up. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Shit kept piling up. I was literally and figuratively at my breaking point. And with things continuing to pile up, I'm trying to keep everything together. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay in this clear head space so that I can continue to do effective healing work with women, work that I love. It was just tough. And then I cannot express enough like how much going through that spiritual crisis was also impacting me. Like, because my relationship with God and prayer and my faith, everything was just, it was such a part of who I was. It was a part of my core identity. And for that to be shaken at the same time, like I was literally going through a dark night of the soul. Okay. If you never heard of it, Google it. You might be going through one too. But yeah, I mean, I found myself questioning what I really wanted, what I was capable of. And honestly, all of this is new for me. This realization about how all of these things piled up and impacted me is very fresh. It was just this weekend that I was in the bed and I was praying and crying, and I was like, God, like, I just feel so bad, you know? And I was just crying out to God. I was like, I really need some help. I need help to feel better. I need help to push through this space. Like, um, and I just found myself feeling really inadequate and questioning, can I do things? You know, I have this renovation project that I've been saying I want to do. And I was like, damn, I'm questioning if I can even do this when the money is there to do it. The resources are there to do it. Why am I still questioning this? You know what I mean? And that was that light bulb moment. I'm like, my faith is not locked in. It's not. It hasn't been. And that's a part of the work that I'm doing right now was like, instead of trying to do all this positive self-talk and all that, that's cute and it's cool. But I really need to like lock back in on faith. Like, and I think that because of these big blows that happen with my business and things feeling like they fell through my fingers, I think honestly that there's a part of me that's began to not trust God, you know, because I felt like there was this bait and switch type situation going on. Like I would pray for something, it would come, and then it wouldn't work out. I'm like, now what the hell? Why? You know, why even present it to me if it end up not being for me? Now I don't necessarily have the answers for all of that right now. The only answer I have for that is that it was used to help me get to where I am now, right? Which is still a tough place, but man, I know myself so much better. Man, my relationship with God has evolved. Man, my clarity and perspective about how I've been showing up in life is so much clearer. And I always say this, that awareness is the key. Once you have awareness, you can change. It's like, you know how you find yourself in like this cycle of life, and it's like, damn, how do I get out of this cycle? The realization that you're in the cycle is the moment that you realize I can get out of it, right? Because when you realize you're in the cycle, you can start looking for your exit. Okay, your exit might be at that right before that crash out, but you get better to where your exit is closer to that initial trigger, and that is essentially what's happening for me. But you know, and it may be weird for you all to hear that I'm struggling with these things, the insecurity, the doubting myself, the lack of faith, struggling with being positive, simply because I'm a therapist. But I want to remind you that I'm still fully human and all fully woman, you know, and I have my things going on too. And I thank God for my therapist and just the ability to sit with another person and process all of this stuff. Like, it's been tough. And yeah, so I want to share with you 4 tips that have really helped me, that are still helping me. And eventually, I'm sure I'll expound on this as I continue to walk through this journey. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 4 things that I have been doing that have really helped me move through this space with more ease. Okay, it doesn't mean it's been easier, but it's more ease. Okay, the first thing is rest. I know that we live in a capitalistic society. If you are in the US, I don't know what other countries you might be viewing from, but in America, it is a very much capitalistic society. And when the going gets tough, we're taught to keep going. and like keep scrambling and figuring out a way to make it happen. And to some degree we have to, but that can look different for everybody. And so for me, what rest look like is meditation, practicing silence. And it's not always I'm sitting like meditating or just like that, but for me meditation was taking long walks with my dog, taking solo walks. So sometimes he stressed me out with all that pulling and barking and pooping. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered with him either. So the long walks, or even when I'm drinking my tea or my coffee, sipping it and really taking in all of the taste and the flavor and the sensations of it going down, like all of those things can be a form of meditation, honestly. And those things really helped me. I love stargazing and moon gazing, whether it's from my window or outside. Those things help me as well. But taking time to rest and journaling was a big part of that journey for me as well. Um, the other thing that I would say is to use the feelings wheel. And I'm going to link the feelings wheel below so that you can access it. Make sure to download it so that you can get your copy, honey, because it is helping me. When you get your copy, take a screenshot and make it your wallpaper on your phone, like when your phone is locked, because it will continue to remind you to check in with how you feeling. And if you're anything like me, like I think as a healer, as somebody that is in the helping profession space, I think that it is natural for us to deal with imposter syndrome. And with imposter syndrome also comes survival mode and detachment from our feelings, because you just have to show up and be present and be on. Seems like all the time unless you by yourself, but it's a lot that comes with being in this role, okay? And so it can be hard for me at times to really connect with how I'm feeling. And because of that, it really helps me be able to see that in other clients and walk them through that. And that is why I really stand by that feelings wheel. I stand on business about it every time because it helps. And it's helping me too. So use the feelings wheel. Okay. Start in the middle. See if you can identify those basic words that you might connect with, and then go to the second circle and then go to the outer circle. If nothing is connecting with you in that middle circle, start on the outside and work your way back in. Okay, there's no wrong way to do it. The third thing that I would say is to do yoga. To do yoga. Yoga is a practice that helps you connect with your heart and get in your body. Okay, I find myself in my head all the time, stressing, being anxious, nervous system totally dysregulated. Meditating, using the feelings wheel, and yoga have really helped me slow down my nervous system and calm it down. The fourth thing that I would say is to read a book that will inspire you based on what you're struggling with. So I'll share with you the 3 books that I was reading and that I still pick up to help me. I'll actually throw one more in there. No, I'm gonna give you the 3. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. You can get that for free on YouTube. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Okay, the second one is a book called How to Relax. I don't know how to pronounce this author's name. His name is Thich Nhat Hanh. I'll link that below. And then the third one is a daily reader. It's called The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. I swear by it. It's a daily reader. I love it. So, y'all, I really hope this video helps you. I hope that some of the tips that I share with you, even my personal journey, resonates with you. And if there's any way that I can support you or encourage you, if there's any content that you would love to hear more of, or any of my stories that I've shared that you would like me to expound on, let me know in the comments. Or you can go to my Instagram. It's Beatrice Speaks at Instagram, and you can DM me and let me know what you think. But I am so glad that you're here. And I pray the best. I pray peace over your life. And I want you to come check me out again and like, comment, subscribe, and share.